Right, we're ready to start? Okay, I can't see the clock.
7:06.
7:06. We'll start with Pledge Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, don't forget to turn on your mics, because I think most of them are turned off.
Yep.
All right. We will start with the acceptance of minutes. We had 3/21 was the date.
That was it.
Sent out.
3:21.
We have both public and non-public.
Both public and non-public.
Which I read them over. I didn't see anything.
Didn't see anything either.
Didn't either.
Motion to accept.
A motion to accept the March meeting minutes.
You want to do them as one, or should we do public?
I'm sorry.
Unless somebody had a objection, we could do both together, public and non-public.
Yes,
Yep, that was
both
fine.
public and non-public.
All right, so Laura made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And seconded. All discussion? No. All in favor? Thought you were about to say something. So.
I'm sorry, no.
Right. All right, committee updates. The Friends, I'm sorry?
Oh, okay.
Jen.
Are we gonna do Jen now or
We
after?
can-
Oh, no, you can go through I'm on your agenda.
Yeah, but you're way down here.
Well, I thought,
You can move it.
I put her there because I thought there were some administrative things that you wanted to get through
No, we
first.
can start with her since
Up
she's
to you.
here. Why don't we do that, so
Okay.
that way she's not stuck here all night
Okay.
listening to us.
Well, Jen, it's
I'd like you
me.
to be stuck.
Okay. So,
All right, well, thank you for having
Floor
me
is
here
yours, Jen.
today. I'm here to request permission to go forward with our yearly fine amnesty that we...
for the two people with insomnia at home, introduce yourself.
Hello,
Is your mic on?
it is.
Okay.
I'm Jennifer Green. I'm head of circulation at the Merrimack Public Library, and I would like to ask for permission to do our yearly fine amnesty in the coming months. We do it every year, and it's going to, or almost every year, and it's going to look a lot like the previous years. I'm going to open it up just a little bit more to be for only Merrimack card holders, but it will include fine amnesty for overdue items for all of consortial items. I have our GMILK's common borrower's card policy, and there's a spot that says fines will be accepted at the discretion of the individual library. So I feel comfortable waiving fines for specific materials, just overdue materials, not any replacement costs and not any processing fees.
I have one question. Have we ever put a cap on it in the past? I don't know.
We
if
have a
that-
cap now. The cap for our cards is $20. It's $5 per item. And then the entire cap for overdue materials is $20 per card.
Oh, so once they hit that, they can't check anything else out at that
Once
point?
they hit a cap of $5, they can't check anything else out. But the fines, the overdue fines, never go higher than $20 on their card.
Okay. Any questions or discussions at this point?
So, just to clarify, if somebody has overdue books that are from Manchester or any library in GMILKs, and they are in Merrimack, they can drop off those materials without a fine and just return them to go back to whatever consortium library they came from?
As long as they are Merrimack card holders, yes.
As long as they are Merrimack card holders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. They can, any overdue fines. And it's just a matter of we want people to be in the library. We don't want fines to be the reason that they're not here. And especially before and during summer reading program. So it will be within the next few months.
Okay, so we would need a motion to,
I motion we accept Jennifer's proposal to waive the fines in one of the coming months,
Second?
according to her guidelines.
any further discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
5-0, you're welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
can turn your microphone off now.
If you want to sneak out, you can, or you could stay and watch.
I will sneak out
All right. All right,
Thank you.
dive into the committee updates.
Yes.
Start with the Friends, which met last night. Which the one point of discussion with the Friends, where is it on here?
It's not.
Oh,
That-
no,
this-
right here, E, the magazine ad.
Oh, I
Um,
had two things.
Oh, well, they had approved
Yep.
half of a magazine ad for the, what's it called, the Merrimack,
The Chamber of Commerce?
that magazine that we had the ad in last year. They approved up to half of the ad cost for a, what was it, half-page ad or three-quarter page?
It's a 1/3 page ad that we had last year in the magazine, that Jennifer had designed. So for your,
Yeah,
to jog your memory a little bit, this is the ad. And the full cost is the same as last year, which is $485. The Friends are willing to pay half, which is $242.50.
Okay.
So the question is, do the trustees want to pay half and we run an ad?
all right.
Well, I think that one of the goals was to bring the library to the attention of people, and that is a fairly widely circulated magazine, so I would be in favor of continuing the ad. Plus the fact that you were in the chamber, you participate in the chamber. So,
Do you want us to vote on that now or wait till that's?
It's up to you guys. If you want to make the motion now, we can make the motion now, or just wait till we get to new business,
I motion that we cover the cost of half the ad for
which was what, for
$242.50.
50 cents, yes.
for that. For the chamber magazine this coming year.
Okay,
I'll second.
Jen seconded. Any discussion at this?
I have a question. Don't we have a line item for advertisement? For,
We do now for publicity. Yeah, last year we didn't, but in this budget we do.
okay, so it's the 17-18 budget.
Yeah, no, 16-17.
So it is 16-17.
So we could take this out of that.
So,
Well, do you have other things that you would like to use for that purpose?
But we have 3 months left.
Yeah,
Oh,
There's 3 months left of this current budget.
oh,
that's a good
okay.
point.
So.
And how much is in there?
Off the top of my head,
I
I
can
don't
tell
know.
you.
We'd have to look at the general ledger. Bless you.
Messy. Okay, ouch. I know, it's starting already. Ledger. Advertising.
Advertising, $1,000, and what's left is $432.
oh, so more than enough to cover
Oh,
this.
so we could do it in that then.
It's
yeah.
$485 to cost, and it's $432 is what it's in this line. So we would go over the line by $50-something, $52.
Or we
Or
can
we
make
just-
up the difference. Or the Friends can make up the
Well,
difference.
the Friends
Yeah,
have
they
already
already
voted to do
voted. Yeah.
half,
Was that
so do we
200
want to put
something?
in,
Yeah.
We'll
Half,
just
or
put
do
in
we
our
wanna-
242 and
Yeah,
No, I think.
and then there's a little remaining.
Take it out of that line item. Why not?
I would take it out of the
Yeah,
town.
take it out of
Yes,
that.
exactly.
You know, I mean, because usually the personnel line doesn't get spent because people are absent, they don't get coverage. Staff leave, there's some, we've kind of gone over this before where there tends to be a little bit left. So that $50 I think would be fine. But yeah, I think spending it would be wise.
I agree.
Okay, so I can tell the Friends, don't worry about it. There was some discussion,
Draw on that motion. I don't think we need a
Yeah, we don't
motion
need a
if we're
motion.
taking it
No.
out of just the budget itself.
okay,
Good catch, Janet.
So,
yeah. There was some discussion last night, Jennifer, about the picture in the ad. And I think you got it from stock
Yeah, I'm
images,
sure.
so,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there was some discussion of, you know, do we want to change the picture?
Oh, you can change the whole thing?
Well, sure, but it's you doing it, so I don't know if you have time
Yeah, it's
to
fine.
do it. Okay.
What, do you know when the deadline is?
Yes. March, well, no, this is the old letter. I would have to look at the email that I sent you, which I didn't print out, but there's a different deadline. We have some time.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I can
just let
just-
me know.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
do that separate.
great. Thank you.
so actually we cross that off. All right, and then,
But the second thing about the Friends, so we're still on the Friends technically.
yeah, we're still on the Friends.
Yes. So the second thing is the book sale for June.
Okay.
They wanted to hold their annual meeting in June because that's when their annual meeting usually is. But that means we shift the time of the book sale. So the book sale would go, it would still start at 5:15 on the Friday of the book sale in June. I think it's June 2nd. And then they would take some time, up to half an hour, to have the annual meeting. So the book sale would be extended, instead of 6:30, it would be extended to 7 to accommodate that first half hour, up to half an hour for their meeting. So if that's okay with you, that's what they would like to do.
Right, so that, I think we do need to make a motion on. So,
To keep it
to
later.
just extend, because we're basically keeping the library open an extra half hour.
Right.
Yeah,
So do
so
we
I
have,
motion we accept the,
keeping it open
keeping
the
the
extra half
library
hour?
open an extra 30 minutes to accommodate the book sale
Second.
and the Friends annual meeting.
Jen seconded.
Mhm.
Any discussion on that? See,
Now, this is the Friday,
Friday.
when we
Second.
normally have the pre-sale,
Correct.
Yes.
but they would like their annual meeting just before the pre-sale.
Yes.
June 2nd.
Correct.
That's fine.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. And was there anything else of the Friends that you could think of, Laura? Because those were the two main points. You showed the plaque off at the Friends
Yep.
for the second little free library that's coming.
The
It's
Little
going to be
Free,
at
It's here.
it's
Kids-
here.
Yeah, it's not up.
It has
So
been
it's-
delivered to the library
Yeah.
in a box, not assembled.
It's coming to the public. That's how I.
Where's it going?
It's
meant-
going
And where
up
is it
in-
going?
By Kids
It's
Golf
going
area.
to Twin Bridges Park, so it's in a location there that Matt Kasparius will choose. But it's there. So I ordered the plaque and I gave the invoice for the little plaque at $17 to do a, Friends of the Library plaque that's identical to the one that's at Wasserman Park. And then I can have Jared affix that and then tell Matt, and when he's ready, he'll coordinate with the DPW crew so that they can install it where he wants at
Great.
Twin Bridges. And then we fill it.
Yep.
So, and we can have another ribbon cutting with the Friends like we did last time.
Yeah.
That was good.
Great.
All right, that was it for the Friends. Development Fund,
They don't meet till
Is-
May 1st.
right, I was going to say they have not met yet.
May 1st.
Development and Marketing Committee is still on hiatus. Town Center Committee,
Yes, the Town Center Committee met March 23rd. The Sauhegan River Trail, the state, the Environmental and Natural Resources Agency has approved it. There are no impacts caused by the trail. However, the Historical Society wants to investigate to make sure there are no traces of Native Americans that might be on the trail and might be destroyed. So that will do they're going to do some testing this spring.
where's this trail?
The trail, the Sauhegan River Trail, it goes under the Everett Turnpike and connects.
The one by the fire station. you said.
Right, the one that's
Okay.
going to be by the fire station, and it connects the two halves. But the construction will likely be next year, 2018, not 2017, because they have to do this investigating. Also, the grant that we have for $254,000 has not yet been to the governor's office and the executive council. Also, the town center committee is making videos that are going to be shown on community television, telling about what the mission of the committee is, and the projects that we are working on. And those videos are being made and will be shown very quickly. They're making steps from the sidewalk on Route 3 towards the gazebo up that hill, so that people can actually get up to the park without having to walk all the way around. And it looks like between Rotary and O'Keefe Landscaping, and the granite is going to be provided at a discount by Ward Gleason, and so that's going to be at very little or no expense to the town. And the way it's being designed, with grass in the middle instead of brick in the middle of the steps, it will actually be able to be mowed just like a lawn, even though there'll be steps. So that's going well. And finally, the school board voted to include sidewalk funding, which is something that the town center committee has been concerned about, that there are no sidewalks on O'Gara Drive at all, and it's dangerous. So their new capital budget includes sidewalks, and that is good news. So that's pretty much March 23rd, and there is a meeting this Friday that I will be going to. So that is Town Center Committee.
Okay. Any comments, questions? No?
No, thank you. That was a lot.
Okay. Personnel HR Committee.
We're just dealing with a couple of non-public issues.
Yep. So we'll deal with that in the non-public. Building and Maintenance Committee. I don't know if you want to,
Well, you have the list.
right.
Do you want to discuss the list?
Can wait until the
It's a
Yeah.
long
it's
list.
down there.
Well, I don't know if you wanted to talk about, you'd mentioned there was a leak yesterday.
Yes. Well, that's in my director's
Okay,
report,
we'll-
so
we'll
I can.
wait for your director's
No,
report.
Rick.
No,
You
no,
want to
no,
go out of
we'll-
order? Why stop now?
Sorry.
It's really disrespectful. I'm sorry. But it made you laugh, so okay. The air conditioning system is off right now. You know, this happens every spring and fall when, the same thing happens at your own house, my house, when you have a couple of warm days or a couple of cold days in the fall, but you're not quite ready to switch over to the air conditioning system or to the heating system. So right now, the building has still been in heating. And when we get close to the time of year when we want to switch it over, then we start to say, okay, let's do some maintenance on it. And we brought our vendor in to look at it, but in order to service it, it needs to be, the temperature outside needs to be over 75 degrees for a consistent amount of time. And Laura, you had asked me about that last night at the Friends, and I actually went back to Joanne and said, so tell me again what the vendor said, because that seemed a little strange to her. And so how we understand it from the vendor, not being air conditioning technicians. So the system, if there's an error and we have to do maintenance on it, then it's triggering an error message. And so the system has to try to run on air conditioning so that how this works is our air conditioning system engages when it's warm for a consecutive number of days. It knows that it's hot. It needs to turn on. So then it turns on. But then if there's an error message, you have to kind of recreate the environment so that the error message will pop up again, and then they could say, oh, what is the source of this error message? So we don't have a consistent number of hot days. At the same time, last week when we had the vendor in looking at this to turn it over, or to turn the system on, then a leak started out of the clump room ceiling. It was not a big leak, but it was a leak, and it was in the HVAC pipes. So it's not in the sprinkler system, but it's in the HVAC. So we called the vendor in to look at that section of the building, and they said, oh, no, it's piping. We don't do that. Started to look for a plumber, brought plumbers in and said, no, this is HVAC. We don't do that. So it's kind of like there was a miscommunication between our staff and the vendor about which pipe system it was, where the HVAC vendor, who should look at it, assumed it was plumbing for the bathroom. And then when we got a bathroom plumber in, they said, no, we don't do this because we do this kind of plumbing. You should call the HVAC. So then we get back with the HVAC, and they said, oh, yeah, no, we do that. So there was just a little bit of miscommunication. They are coming. And basically, we can't have the maintenance done on the AC system until the leak is fixed, because we can't turn it on because of the leak. So when it's off now, there's no leak because there's no water running through the system. So the circulators are off, and then so that's scheduled. I didn't write down the date that that's happening, but it could be as early as tomorrow. And then I mean, it's cooling down again, so I would be reluctant to flip it on. And we have fans running in the building for when we have a spike where it's a warm, kind of an unusually warm day, which we just did have a couple of those over the weekend. But so it's in process. The leak will be addressed, and then the maintenance can happen on the machine. We can see and track down what the error message was. But that's the character building aspect of interacting and caring for an older system. How about that?
Elderly system.
I didn't want to say it's the problem with dealing with an old building, but it's a challenge.
It is.
That's what we do. So.
Anything further on the building? No?
No, I mean, you have the list, so
Yeah,
I guess you wanted to talk about that
dive into
later.
that.
Okay.
So we'll go to the investment committee. Nothing?
Yep.
We'll say it again.
All right, moving into the new business. All right, since we had our election, we have to appoint chair, treasurer, and secretary.
Election.
So at this point, I'll take a nomination for chair.
I nominate Rick Barnes for chair, Karen for secretary, and Janet for treasurer.
I
Okay.
think Karen
Now, I
has
know
Karen has had
You
enough of
don't
doing the
want to
minutes.
continue on as secretary. I actually looked into it.
I've done it
and
for 3 years.
Janice can actually, as an alternate, be the secretary. What I was thinking was we can have you guys because she doesn't.
I could
She
certainly.
doesn't know what she's doing. I talked to her
course.
briefly.
Of course.
She
Of
doesn't want to
course.
jump into something not knowing what she's doing. But I was thinking
I
you
could
guys can
certainly
kinda
work with you.
co-secretary.
Absolutely. Because
you guys are open to it.
from my very first meeting, I was secretary.
I threw Karen into it.
And survival is possible with support from the previous secretary.
Okay.
So
So if you're willing to,
if you're willing
Assist.
to
I mean,
to
don't,
do
don't
that.
we don't want to
I'm
throw
not
you
gonna
into
dump.
it.
I'm not going to dump you. And
You can decline if you don't want it.
yes, you can. You can decline if you don't want to do it.
Like, I feel like I don't really know what to say.
We don't have to say anything tonight.
Do we want
Okay.
to table the secretary
think about
position
it.
for this meeting and then we'll come back to it?
Let's do this. Let's take the pressure off.
Okay.
I will keep it for now. We will talk about it once Janice, right?
Yes.
Feels acclimated,
Because she hasn't officially been
even
appointed as an alternate
appointed,
yet either.
so
Step
that's
by step.
fine.
I
We're
guess
just going to
maybe
leave.
that's what I would say.
That's
We're
We're
happy
throwing
to
stuff
listen
at her.
to what the responsibilities are.
Sure,
and
Sure.
feel it out
Sure.
and
Yeah.
go from there.
So-
Go, Laura, yes.
So, do we have a second to Laura's motion?
Well, you have to, don't you have to change your motion, or?
Well, no. 'cause
No,
was
she said
gonna-
Karen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And-
so do we have a
and-
second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Unanimous?
Do we have unanimous?
Yep.
Yes.
So, all right,
Okay, just once, yeah, I'll just limit, I want to get this down a little bit, that's all. Okay. So, Rick Perez,
You're okay with staying as treasurer?
Janet,
yeah, we don't want to do the paperwork for the accounts, really.
Until we get everything consolidated at least.
Zach.
Neither one of us want to go through that right now,
Good, we're good.
so, all right. All right, committee assignments. So at this point, we have all the different committees. Are there
Okay.
any,
I'll keep town
I
center.
was going to say, are there any committees that people want to specifically be on?
I don't mind staying on the development fund, but this is probably my last year, so if somebody else wants to try it this year, that's
Okay.
fine, to
What is
development
it?
fund.
The development fund?
I'll step into the development.
Okay,
Who said that? Laura?
I
Laura.
did, yes.
Oh.
and you want to stay, the two of us, with the Friends? Because we've both been going to the meetings,
Sure.
so.
Okay, so Laura
Stay on HR
Mhm.
is development fund,
and maintenance,
Mhm.
and Rick.
town center.
No, not.
Just trying to see if you're paying
Exactly, I'm
attention.
just trying to see what else you.
Committees are, we have the Friends, the Development Fund, the Development and Marketing Committee, which has been on hiatus, so that one doesn't necessarily meet, but eventually, once we decide, pretty much
We
once
get
we
through
finish
that.
going through the strategic plan, that's when we're going to bring that committee back. The Town Center Committee, the Personnel HR Committee, Building Maintenance Committee, and then the Investment Committee. And once we go through all the motions to get you on as an alternate, you can also sit on these committees as a backup. So if there's any, that you're interested in, next month we'll, put you in as a backup
Okay.
to any of them, so.
Can I have a rerun here? I've got Rick and Laura are on
The
the,
Friends.
are the Friends. Laura is now Development Fund. I am Town Center. So building maintenance is,
Laura and I.
okay,
Well, are you both going to stay on the
Janet.
Development Fund, or just Laura?
I think there only needs to be one. I mean, I
Okay.
don't mind staying, but
Okay. Town Center,
Oh, I have Town Center. So building maintenance, was it Personnel HR?
mm-hmm.
And who is Personnel HR?
Jen and Laura.
me and Laura.
Jen,
Jen and Laura. Anybody else?
Had the Library Building Maintenance Committee.
Right, that's what I have for Laura.
And me.
and
Investment
Janet.
committee.
Jen,
Oh,
and then the Investment Committee was the other one.
Jen and I.
an investment committee is who?
Jen and
I.
Jen and Jen, okay. Investment.
You sure you don't want the other ones?
I'm happy.
Okay, so, okay, just let me make sure I get it right for the minutes.
Well, we need to make the motion and
Oh, okay.
make the
So-
appointments.
Shall we do everybody?
Yeah, let's
in-
do it
in
all
one
at
motion?
swoop.
Why don't you motion it and read it so you can?
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So, I move that Karen Freed be the library rep for the Town Center Committee. Laura be the rep for the Development Fund. Rick and Laura be reps for the Friends of the Library. Laura and Janet be reps for the Building Maintenance Committee. Jen and Laura be reps for the Personnel HR Committee, and Jen and Janet be reps for the Investment Committee.
Yes.
Second that one.
Rick seconds.
Do we have any discussion?
Are you sure?
I am
You
positive.
have 4.
I am
Yeah,
positive.
that's a lot. Well, yeah, it's up to you.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yes.
She's been doing a good job with them, so
I know,
that's
well,
why I'm
she's
not.
taking one more, so.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying, she's willing to do it. She's been doing a good job with the committees so far, so,
You can always come to us and say it's too much, and we can.
yeah.
Yeah, we can always fix
Tell
it.
Rick that you need to step up.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind stepping up to another couple.
I'm overwhelmed, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Being verbal is not one of my issues.
This is true.
All right, any further discussion? No? All in favor? All opposed? None? Okay. Question, Laura. You're the one opposed.
Did I
I was
oppose?
waiting to see
You
you be the one
opposed?
opposed. All right.
Do an email introduction.
All right,
for you.
now, onto the
I'll do
alternate.
an email introduction for you to the development fund.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I thought one of you two were going to say something, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay, so on to the alternate. So I talked to the town council, and I believe I spoke to most of you guys about this. So I spoke to the town council about this. We have to take an official vote to recommend Janice as the alternate. And then we have to submit our minutes and a letter to the town council asking them to appoint her,
Okay.
which they're meeting not this Thursday, but the following Thursday at 7 o'clock. So I've already mentioned it to you. You said you were going to be able to attend.
Yes.
They'll be able to swear you in right there at the meeting. So as soon as they take their vote,
Oh, God, the air conditioning.
The 27th.
the 27th,
That's next Thursday.
yes. Hold on. My calendar. Yes, the 27th. Yes, because they were supposed to meet the 13th, but they don't meet the week of the election, so they will be meeting the 27th.
That takes place in this building or next?
on the
The
other
building
side.
across
Oh, okay.
the town,
Can't turn it
where
on.
the courthouse
I
is.
think it
Or
has
the-
to
not the
crank
court,
something
the
down.
other building, if you walk, the little
That's
walkway
what
up.
the planning
Yeah.
board.
I just turned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in that building. Okay.
Yeah, they have the big desk,
Okay.
so. All right, so we'll take a motion to officially recommend her to the council.
Trustees nominate Janice Tibbetts as an alternate trustee for the period
It's a
Of 1 year.
And hopefully we don't scare you off and you'll consider running.
She came back.
She did.
Back. I went
Good
to a
so
friend's
far.
meeting. I would have gone last night, but I had to be someplace else.
for the
So-
period of a 1-year appointment.
Karen's motion.
And
Did you make the motion?
I wrote it. I didn't necessarily
You
make
said it out
it.
loud.
Okay.
You said it, so I take that
Are
as a
you talking to
motion.
yourself?
Yeah, and you,
I'll motion. I'll second.
thank you.
I'll second your verbal motion.
My verbal motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. So.
Okay, now, what I would like to do is, and I had mentioned this, we should send a letter to the town council.
Yeah, they
recommending.
want a letter and the
They want a
copy of
letter
minutes.
and the minutes, which I'll get the minutes, and then the letter, what I'm looking for is, can people just throw out some sentences that they think would be good? As a-
Please allow this letter to serve as our recommendation. Help me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can we do
Letter.
that
It can
after
be
the,
brief,
after
yeah.
this meeting?
We can, if, to serve as a, I'm not
That's what I was
expecting.
gonna ask. I assume you're writing the letter then, if since you're
Yeah,
asking this
yeah,
question?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll write it, and then we'll make sure that
And it
everybody
just
gets
needs to go-
to,
Does just the chair have to sign it? All of us don't
I
have to sign it.
think you would have to
do
sign it.
Just the
Yeah.
I
chair.
would think the chair just needs to sign.
So
and I'll just send it to you,
That's fine. Yeah.
and then
email
you
it to
can
me.
just look at it, and, but this way I'll give you like, so that you don't have to create it out of whole cloth.
That's fine.
That's fine.
And you send that in the draft of the minutes
Yeah,
from tonight, and then
Yeah.
I'll forward both of those on.
okay. And if you guys will, when we are finished with the meeting, just stay and just, if everybody just gives me a sentence or two, I can just put it all together, and that'll be great.
She wants to be an alternate.
Would I?
She's willing to do it.
Would I bring anything else with me to that meeting?
No,
like,
you just
I don't
show
have to prove
up
that I'm a
and-
resident or anything.
Show up and smile.
Okay.
Yeah. Show up and
I
smile.
am a resident. Okay.
Show up and smile. That's all you have to do. And they might ask you one or two questions at most. you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just raise your hand and read off the little
Yeah.
thing.
Well, they
Yeah.
say, you know.
yeah, they swear
repeat
you
after
in.
me.
Okay.
You know, I state your name. I state my name. All right.
Okay.
Is there any further discussion on that? All right, we already discussed fine amnesty. The magazine ad we already discussed. So moving on to the 4th of July parade in the Midway.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ready.
Let's see where I'm at. So I got I had a conversation with Neil Ankentel from the Rotary, and he is one of the organizers for the Midway that happens on July 4th. Maybe, I don't know, for your benefit or for anyone to remember, the library usually marches in the July 4th parade, so anyone who's available on the board to join us, we do that. We usually advertise summer reading. And in the past, the library has had a tent or a table on the Midway. We haven't done it in recent years. But he wanted to know if the library would be willing to have a book sale tent, specifically. A little different. We do have like an 8x8 or a 9x9 tent awning, and we could kind of bring a small selection of very good books that are donated from the book sales to it. I don't think all of the inventory would be sold. I think that's a little impractical to consider. But, you know, if we wanted to do other things at the tent, you know, children's activities, that kind of thing,
Raffle.
stories, raffle. I mean, we just haven't had a table in a couple of years. The Midway is happening between 12 and 9 p.m. The busiest time was really between 2 and 6, he said, and then again after dinner. People tend to go home for dinner. So I'm asking if anyone wants to man a table at the Midway.
This is next year. The
This is-
2018 is a big anniversary for the library.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to man a table.
Yeah.
It's tough because there's not a lot of traffic.
It's not.
And it's, if it's,
Which is
so
why we didn't do
really-
it for a couple of
Yeah,
years.
Right.
You're sitting there and it's hot and there's
Well,
not
that's it,
often
it's hot.
People want to go to the bouncy houses and then go home and jump in their pool or something, so.
You'll get, right after the parade wraps up, you know, when the Midway kind of starts up, you get a lot of traffic coming in, and then it dies off within, what, an hour at most?
Yeah.
And then it's dead for most of the afternoon. And then as Midway's starting to get to the end is when people start showing up because they all
Yeah.
come for the fireworks.
Why is it called Midway? What is it exactly?
So you have the 4th of July parade that comes
I've
through
never gone to
town,
it.
and then basically in the parking lot of the high school, it's just a whole bunch of tables, bounce houses.
Oh, okay. It's just
Yeah,
like
but-
activities.
yeah,
When you go to a
Actually,
county
yeah,
fair,
it's
Well,
more
we
toward
had
the-
it in my hometown. I just
Okay.
didn't. They never called it Midway, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
No, it's the place where you have the rides.
yeah,
Okay.
food
No.
vendors.
fried
Yeah.
dough and.
Okay.
Yeah, fruit vendors.
I don't know what we called it. But we didn't
Businesses.
call
You
it
have a lot of the,
that. Okay.
like, the Republicans have a table, the Democrats have a table, you know, they'll have different groups in town will have tables. You know, the Historic
Yeah.
Society usually has a table.
Yep.
And we've done tables in the past,
Town Center Committee has a table.
yeah.
We probably had tables twice. You know, I think two consecutive years, you know,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, it's hot. We've all just marched in
Already
the
done the
parade. You kind of have to have two teams, because if you're marching the parade, you can't set up the table, because it's
Yeah, we
gotta
have to
start
get
at
there,
noon.
yeah,
Right.
or we have to get there really early before
And
the
set
parade.
it, and then
get it
run
all
back
set
down.
up.
Yes.
It's a
And
lot of
I
work.
definitely would say no on the book sale there, because
Oh, yeah?
Well, just from talking to people, when the library used to do the cardboard boat race, they used to have a book sale
Oh.
at the cardboard boat race.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest complaint that the library staff and the trustees from that point in time, and this was before I was in the trustees, but that was everybody's biggest complaint was the book sale, bringing all the books down to the park and setting them all up, and then tearing everything down at the end was just so much work, and they said it just wasn't worth it for the amount they raised. So,
Are people really book hunting over July 4th anyway?
yeah.
Well, I mean, to maybe put another argument on it, you know, to play devil's advocate, it really depends on your selection. You know, if you like, because we will go. Let's say we go to the farmers market, then the things I'm going to bring to the farmers market are going to be gardening and cooking. You know, I'm not going to bring, you know, Christmas crafts necessarily. That's Christmas in July, maybe I would. But, you know, I think it really depends on the selection. You know, if you do a bunch of paperbacks that are kind of quick reads, summer reads, light reads, maybe, but we probably, I mean, yeah, sure, kids' books, but we won't sell out. You know, I mean, the Friends used to have, when we did the business expo, we used to have two tables. One was a library table and one was a Friends table, and the Friends always brought books to sell, and they had a little bookcase that was probably 3 shelves worth, small, like this, you know,
I
small.
thought they gave those out. Didn't they go?
Were they just giving away?
I thought they just gave
Maybe
them
that's
away for
right.
like kids or something. Yeah, let every kid pick a free book or
Right.
something.
Yeah, so those probably all of the inventory, or most of it would have gone away, but, or been distributed, but, I mean, it's your call. I said I would ask.
Would it be more fun to have a game or some other?
Well, in the past we did baskets that we raffled off.
Baskets, we did like a sandbox for kids one year. We did
Yeah, we've done that.
some
We did
other thing
Legos
for
one
kids.
year, didn't
Lego.
Yeah.
How many other vendors are there? I don't recall.
It's usually like 20
There's a
or
good
30.
amount.
Depends on the
You've got a
year.
bunch of bounce houses, and you've got like food. You've got
There's a
bands.
bandstand.
Yeah.
usually there's some sort of like an art show or photography show or something.
I guess I'm just wondering how many people are really going to be interested in picking up a book.
I don't know.
I just.
But you're a trustee, don't say.
Well, just,
Well,
yeah.
Everyone's going to want to come get our
On July
books.
4th. I mean, books are wonderful. I
All
love
of them.
books, but
All if we get you know, we could get American themed books. I mean it's the collection. It depends on what you bring. You know, what's the inventory that we have.
You have to make sure to have bags because people have to
And
carry
we'd have to
back
have
their car.
bags. Yeah.
yeah.
If you can get the people to work.
Yeah, I mean
I'll do
it's
the parade part, but I don't think I want to sit at the table.
Well, I'd be willing to sit at the booth.
Yeah, you're under
Reading
the
a
tent
book.
the whole time, so it's not too bad. It's just
I'm sorry, what?
you're under the tent, so you're not directly in the sunlight the whole time, so it's not really that bad. But after you got the first rush, right when the parade wraps up, you got a real rush.
Oh, you mean from 12 to 9 p.m. the whole time?
No, it's not till 9. It usually
Oh.
wraps up like 6, right? Doesn't the midway end around 6?
I wrote down 12 to 9 when I had this conversation. So.
Yeah, they extended it.
Did they extend
Yeah.
it?
You can leave whenever
Yeah,
you want.
we'll
but
switch out and we'll try and we'll see if we can get friends to volunteer time as well. But
Yeah, if they share the booth, maybe, rather than. But I just remember it being blazingly hot and empty.
A lot of the times, for the past couple of years, some of the friends, mostly Claire, has volunteered on the Midway, and she's kind of supervised or overseen the bouncy houses because the Rotary likes to get other groups involved, and then there's a kind of like a volunteer cash exchange. I don't want to, I don't run it, so I don't want to say anything and misspeak, but, you know, we've helped out at the pancake breakfast before in that kind of volunteer exchange, and, you know, she's helped at the bouncy houses, which is totally separate from the parade involvement.
you know, it helps with the heat though. You volunteer for the dunking booth. I did that one year.
Sure,
Yeah.
but then you have to be dunked.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be dunked after you, Rick. Just
Well, maybe we should table the July 4th thing right now.
I think we agree, we definitely want to be in the parade.
Yeah.
We definitely want a presence in the parade, it's just whether or not we want the midway, so.
and it needs to be a separate group,
Yeah.
or we do it early, which is it's a
We'll
challenge.
just mull
But
that
then you
over
have to have
for a
somebody who
while.
stays there if we're
Yep,
gonna bring a
someone
bunch of
has
books.
to man
and-
it.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work. It would be work.
yeah.
I like your idea of tabling it for future.
So
Kind
we'll
of
save
think.
it, mull it over for a month, we'll come back next month to
Have we-
revisit. When do we have to make a commitment?
I don't have that printed out, but
We do have a
need
month to
to-
mull it over.
We need to make the commitment on the space for the, don't we have to pay something for the space in the parade?
yeah. I mean, we don't usually. I don't think nonprofits pay. The town agencies don't pay.
Well, there's a form you still have to fill
Yeah,
out,
we
though.
have to.
Well, we certainly want to do the parade. I want to do the parade.
Yeah, I agree, I think everybody's in
I like the
decision-
parade. It's
agreement.
fun. I've done it for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay, we've spent enough time on that.
True.
Okay. All right. No further discussion then, we'll table it for now. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
one more point of discussion with that. Do we want to appoint one or two people to get together to pick out the tchotchkes that we give out at the parade?
I was just thinking that. Don't we
Yeah,
also
I
have to
can-
give a dollar amount? Didn't we
Yes.
provide a?
Well,
Yes,
Yes.
that's,
We have tchotchkes from last year, so. Last year we gave out
Keychain.
keychains. We still have those. So
No bracelets left from years before that?
Those ones.
no,
Those
no, no,
go
no. But I
fast,
think the
yeah.
kids were incredibly conservative about handing out the key rings. They handed out the candy, but I think they were. I don't even know. I think we had candy left over too. They were pretty conservative.
Yeah.
So, because we said just don't throw it, and they were, yeah,
They were
At a
handing
time.
them one at a time.
yeah.
So,
so
do
do
we
you
want
want, do you want committee members for it, for the planning?
Why don't we pick two people to just,
I can do it again this year.
Want to do it
I
again?
didn't do it
And
last year.
I've done, I did. Yeah, I'll do it again.
actually, this might be one that you might want to sit in with the two of them and just
Okay.
kind of look at, what we do when we pick out, these are the things we hand out. In the 4th of July parade, we just hand out to kids on the sides of the road.
Yeah, Jen is familiar with Petroselli more than I am
Yeah.
even, so she knows.
So the three of you can
Okay.
meet up and review what we have on as far as how many the
you
keychains
have
we have left.
Yeah, we'll look and see what we
And
have.
if it sounds like we have enough keychains, we just stay with what we have, or
Do we
you can pick
want to
something
just
else.
give money up to something right now, just so we don't have to worry about it
Yeah.
later?
Do you remember how much we spent
I
last
think they
year?
usually say 500.
It's usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually 500.
Okay, so we'll make a motion.
I would think if we've got a good amount, then we only need something to supplement that, then
We
we
also,
probably won't use that.
we also have pencils that heat sensitive pencils. So when you hold them in your hand, they change. So we may not need anything. If we really count pieces.
But we
we-
could
we may not
approve
need
up to 500 if we decide we want to get something.
Sure, but we may not
Just to
need
be,
it.
yeah, just
Yeah.
to be safe. We might not even touch it.
Right.
So I'll make that motion to,
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Or seconded? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Unanimous, okay.
And
For-
who's on the committee?
me and
Parade
Karen.
tchotchkes.
Janice?
So when would I talk to you guys, ladies?
we'll let you know.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, so that was it for the.
And you,
Okay,
you seconded, right, Laura?
Laura seconded, yes. And it was unanimous, 500.
And does Janice have an email? No, not yet.
Not yet.
After
Once
they can
once
do
town
that.
council, then we can make up a library meeting, or library email address for her. So, and then at that point, you can
Yep.
circulate everybody's phone numbers too.
Yep.
Health insurance contract.
Yes. Okay, so I received this in the mail. In March, the Health Trust, you do not have a copy of this.
Okay.
I did not send out a copy of this.
No, I thought that was what you handed out. Never mind.
Nope, nope. So in March, the Board of the Health Trust organization votes for the GMR, the guaranteed maximum rate. So that is now published, and they send it out in a contract, and the chair signs it, and then I can return this, and we are renewed for the year.
What was the percentage? to go up?
It's 13.9% is the guaranteed maximum rate. I can just pass this
Okay.
if you want, because it's a cover and there's lots of paperwork on it. So,
Do you need
but
to
when
sign
we
the back?
when we budget for the 17-18 year, we always know that we have to set our budget in the fall and over December, January and submit it. But we always know that they vote in March, so we always budget for the guaranteed maximum rate. And if it comes in under it, that's great. So,
And you said you needed me to sign the last
Yes.
page. Okay.
and then I can send it back.
That was the only discussion
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
it. It's the contract you need to sign.
Questions, comments? Okay. Okay, I'll sign
Okay.
that when it comes through. All right, the building project list. That's the next one. So that is this one.
Okay, so in your packets, you received a building project list. This is everything that we could think of that is on our minds about repairing or maintaining in the building. And we've ranked them, I've ranked them by priority, so number one obviously is highest priority. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's attainable right now. For example, number one, slate roof repair, replacement, inspect the attic for water damage, repair sump pump, that's actually finished. Parking lot repaved is coming, that's this summer. Sidewalk repair will also be this summer. Repair, replace hot water heater, that's happening now. And the counter are all the number one priorities, replace the painter and counter. So, you know, in terms of the parking lot being repaved, that's scheduled for the second week of August. I don't have the exact dates, but it's going to be a two-day project where when I find out which the 2 days are, we will definitely have to be closed to the public. But Kyle believes that we could still have the staff come in, have, you know, open days for the staff. They could work on special projects. I've been talking to the staff about this so that they can have a plan so that we don't just have to be closed altogether. You know, there's a shift that's being planned to happen in the fall for fiction in the adult services. So if we move that up a month, then it happens when we're closed and we don't have to disrupt people in the building. But, you know, the staff could park at Town Hall and then walk across the street, use the sidewalk, and we'd be fine. But it's really just the traffic in the parking lot will not happen because it will be repaved. So, you know, that's happening. So, I mean, these are all things that are important, but to compare something like that to the slate roof repair or replacement, you know, that's a different kind of question where, you know, the board needs to decide, do you want to replace with slate or do you want to replace with a slate looking material that we've talked about before when we did the flat roof renovation. You know, there's a system that can be put on the 1925 building in place of slate, and it will last forever, but it's expensive. So, you know, do we want to do that? I mean, that it has to happen eventually, and it has to be discussed eventually. So some of these can't be accomplished yet. So that's the list.
Replace patron counter, which counter are you speaking of?
This is the counter when you walk in. And this is actually, you know, if you put the pages together, I didn't do this in the packet, obviously, but you kind of have to.
You see that one, counter? I don't see that on there.
It's,
the fifth
it's.
one down.
It's,
One down.
yeah, it's,
The last
replace,
number one.
repair,
Oh,
replace
there it
patron
is, there it
counter.
is, okay.
That's the count when you walk.
People
when a-
counter.
It's the people counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one on the
Counter,
right.
counter.
Not
counter,
counter,
it's
but
it's
the people
ad.
counter.
Okay.
In the door, the
Oh,
doorway.
it's a counter, like a number counter.
Number
Yeah.
counter.
Tick, 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 yeah.
I was thinking the same
was
thing.
thinking-
I was
Oh, were
thinking
you?
the same
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I was thinking the.
I was thinking
like-
countertop.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what we were
I'm
I'm
thinking.
going, what's wrong with
Yeah.
it, you know?
No.
Okay, the
people
people
counter-
counter would be good,
Okay.
People counter counts groups.
Right.
yes.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
So if I come in with my kids trailing behind me, it'll count one. It won't count me and my 4 children, you know. It will count one, which is not accurate. You know, we want to know how many people come into the building and everything, but
But what about
Um,
people who run in and out? You go out and come back in 3 times.
won't count. Oh, well, you know, I mean,
If you're going through.
if you're going too fast, if people walk together, I mean, yeah, it's not ideal, and we've been researching other counters.
Okay.
So it's something that has to be replaced, but we have to decide which one works best for us, and is it affordable, and then when can it be installed.
Okay.
Okay, now I understand.
Yeah, but if you put the pages together, you know, where you, this is actually a much longer kind of spreadsheet. It's, you know, you'll see, you know, the date it could be scheduled, the estimated cost, who's going to do it, and why.
What would the locks like hospital be?
What?
Under, it's a priority 3, both restrooms, you have overhaul, adult changing table.
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
curious about that one too, and
So
then locks
that-
like hospital.
Yes. So that was a discussion that came out, it came to my attention a couple of years ago because the state librarian came to an Urbans meeting and was asking the director sitting in the meeting, which one of you have neutral bathrooms, you know, and handicap bathrooms. So we don't have neutral bathrooms. We have a men's room and a ladies' room, and we don't have staff bathrooms either in the library. So, you know, we kind of went around the table, and he was saying, "Well, we're kind of watching a court case right now that's happening in the schools about a student who was transitioning from one gender to another and was petitioning to use the bathroom of their choice." And as I understand, you know, how he was thinking, you know, we're watching for litigation to happen in one area, and then will it touch the library? And how about we be proactive so that we don't get sued for having bathrooms that don't accommodate people? So it went on the list. Let's start thinking
So
about
there
it.
would be
you
kind
know,
of one-person bathrooms. You just go in, you lock the door, you get the room to yourself.
right. Yeah. So, you know, I don't know under the current administration if that is going to continue to be something we need to look at very closely. I've talked to one of our plumbers about it, and how cost prohibitive it would be. You know, I think if we're going to change bathrooms, then what other changes would help our patrons? We do have a lot of patrons who are adults that need to use changing tables. So I thought, well, if we're going to overhaul the bathrooms, why not put an adult-sized changing table in that? You know, I mean, that would be lovely.
Room?
There would be, but then we'd go to one toilet.
Right.
You know, and you'd have to have the men's room and the ladies' room would have to be identical, where you'd have, you know, a handicapped accessible toilet plus changing table plus baby changing table. You know, I think, you know, so I don't think we need to, you know, that's a priority 3. So
Right.
it's not really urgent. It's just, you know, let's just keep it on the list to see
Yeah.
if there's bubbles of litigation that we need to be proactive about. You know, I think generally also we should watch, you know, unfortunately, when you hear about a heroin overdose that's happening in a bathroom. So, you know, it's just, okay, we need to think about the bathrooms and do we need to start monitoring the bathroom? You know, if we monitor the bathroom, who holds the key? That's another question. We've talked about, do we change the bathrooms? If we're going to change the bathrooms where, you know, sometimes when you're in a medical facility, you have one bathroom, even a gas station is like this sometimes, depending on how large it is. You know, you can have one that's large enough for a wheelchair to come in, but it's still one toilet and it locks, so it's a gender-neutral bathroom. We've talked about, in an emergency situation, would it be useful for the town if we had a shower in the bathroom? I've kicked that around too, because there's a drain in the floor. I think I think the only change I would suggest at this point is to close in the urinal with a stall, because right now there's only an extended wall and it doesn't really provide the kind of privacy that it could with a
I'm
door.
all in favor of that, because
Yeah.
using the men's room during book sales, I always
Yeah,
feel
no.
like I'm getting ready to flash kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I agree with you. So I think, one thing we could do is just close that urinal and make it a
Yeah.
real stall, and then,
And improve the lighting in that space
that's on here
at
too.
the same
yeah.
time.
yeah. So, as we just see issues that come up, we just make a note of it, and then at least I've thought about it a little bit and mostly talked to Joanne about this, because she's really the building with the maintenance department. So, and then see if we have to start to research more, bring it to the board, think about encumbering money or putting in something in a CIP request, to overhaul a bathroom is going to be expensive.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of these look like, stuff for Jared that he could
They
do.
are. if you go down to
Supposed to
one of the
go.
other columns on the second page,
The 2 pages this way.
if you
Oh,
scroll
that's
across,
down.
It'll
funny.
help
oh,
more.
because it's scanned, yeah, it's saved that way, but,
Yeah,
Oh,
see how it says.
yeah, anything that Jared can do, we've already assigned to him, and he's got a timeline on it, so.
Right. Okay.
Thank you for putting that
well,
together.
this is much appreciated, because it was hard to get a scope of the full picture
Yeah,
of what the full needs of the library were. And then we're also looking at developing the outdoor space as a result of the fundraising money we received from the turkey shoot. So there's a lot of things going on.
Okay.
do you,
Hmm?
I don't know how often you want to interact with this document.
That might end up being something that
Committee.
Laura
Building
and I
committee.
We
can
could,
work with.
Keep an eye on it.
yeah. Would nice to see some things come off the list.
So
Well-
do you want to update every month, or quarter, or?
Maybe once a quarter for the board,
Yeah, but I mean, as
as an
things
ongoing
going,
thing
I
now.
mean, you and I can work with Yvette and Joanne.
Yes,
And Jared.
yes.
Because there might be something that's a number 2, but ties into something that
Yeah.
is fixed or can be fixed.
I would be in favor of dealing with the men's room soon.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, and something like that, so to move forward, as an example, to move forward on something like that, we call up the company that did the initial installation of the barriers, and say, can you give me a price on this? And then we would see what is, do we have it, again, 3 months out, do we have it in here now? And we would start to think, okay, when we start encumbering money in June at the end of the year, to see this is a project that's not going to happen before July 1st. So we'd need to say, okay, this is definitely a project we want to do. The trustees would like to have it done. We all would, on the staff, I would agree with that, and then we'd, earmark that as this is going to get, done, and it's probably going to be scheduled in the summer. Yeah.
I think that's an important one too.
Yeah, I think that's important to move forward with.
Okay.
And I don't think it'll be extremely expensive.
Probably not.
I don't think it'll be.
But that's,
it's not a
when
big
we,
project.
sure, but when we put the budget together, it doesn't include necessarily that particular project. It includes, enough money to tackle a bunch of projects that come up over the year, and then regular maintenance and things.
Could
But
probably pay fines if we needed to.
you could, yeah.
It's
So,
built
but,
up.
I think we'd try to encumber first and then. Sure. Okay.
Okay. further discussion on the building? Seeing none. All right. I'd put development plan, but I actually meant the strategic plan. Now, I don't know if, did everybody get a chance to read it? Do we want to table it one more?
I thought we were doing a separate meeting on that.
Yeah, so did I.
We need to do that separately, it's too big.
Okay. Do we want to set a date then for the meeting?
Well, do we want
We
to,
need
do we
to
want?
do the retreat too.
Exactly.
Get through the
You
retreat
want to do the
first?
retreat
Okay.
first, or
And we
or
don't have
this
that
first.
scheduled, do we?
That's the next item on the agenda is scheduling the retreat.
gotta get my calendar to sync with my
The,
phone.
the retreat, usually we meet right after the election. We have a long, we've done what, weekdays in the
Yeah,
past,
like
right? We
5
usu-
o'clock.
We usually meet at 5 and go till 9. We get a pizza or subs or some kind of food. And then we just kind of review our past year, see if there's anything we could do better. And then we kind of try to put together a plan for the upcoming year.
Yeah, goal setting session.
Yeah. So we'll table the strategic plan until after the retreat. So moving on to the next item. Is the retreat. So what day of the week would work for everybody?
I'm wondering if a Saturday morning might be a little bit easier than trying to do this at night after everybody's worked a long, hard day.
Okay.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. And more than an hour and a half. I think we've only,
Yeah,
because of the strategic plan, I think that there's a lot here to look at.
Yep.
that's fine.
And I think we need time to talk about it and hash it out a little bit. I mean,
Are we going to tackle this, are you thinking that we'll tackle the strategic plan?
Not
during-
tackle it, but I
Strategic
think
plan
we
needs to
need
be
to-
its own meeting.
I know, but
Yeah.
I think with what we talk about, it touches on that. And so I think we need to allow ourselves time to think things through and just kind of get ourselves organized on the same page, that's all. And that takes a little bit of time. So Saturday morning might be easier, and maybe allow at least 3 hours. If we don't take that much time, fine. Those would be my thoughts, and doing it before school's out.
Okay, I can't do the 29th of April, but I'm free pretty much any other Saturday. I don't know about the rest of you. Is that okay?
I needed, I mean, you're giving me a very broad date range.
All right, let's start with the 6th.
Okay, thanks.
So May 6th.
I'm out of town.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, when am I coming back?
13th?
I think
Is
I'm still away.
When's Mother's Day weekend?
20th? Mother's Day is the 14th.
14th.
The 20th works.
20th works.
Nope,
No.
no, we'll be out of town.
Okay.
It's graduation.
It's
Well, this
being
is
weekend.
this is a Board of Trustees retreat.
Right.
You don't have
Yeah,
to
but
be
she's
there.
there.
Oh,
She's there.
I've been there in the past.
yeah, she's been there in the past.
She's been
Oh,
there in
yeah,
the
yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to excuse me, then that's,
And I can't do the 27th.
Memorial Day weekend.
That's also Memorial Day week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we
Okay,
wanna
All right,
do
but
it?
just curious, I mean, what about a Sunday afternoon?
It's all right with me.
it's on the Sunday.
I agree.
Again, the weekend of the 29th, 30th is bad for me for April, but any weekend in May, I'm open.
Right, let's throw out May 7th.
Well, I'm out of town.
Oh, you're still out of town. Okay,
And then the next
14th
one
is
is
Mother's Day.
Oh, wait, May 6th is free comic book day. I almost forgot. Can't do
Free
May
comic
6th.
book day.
Yeah,
Don't
May
miss
May
that. Yeah.
6th is
Go to
free
the
comic book
garage.
day.
It's a garage. Somebody's garage, right?
All right.
Free comic.
Well,
All the
May
comic
is
book
out
stores.
apparently.
Oh,
What?
all
I
comic.
said May is out if we're only doing weekends.
I think we're gonna have to do a weeknight.
I think
Hmm.
the
How about
best would
Friday
be
night?
Now, what did you just say?
Friday
Said
night.
Friday night.
I'm open any Friday because I have no life.
I don't,
Are you open like May 5th?
May 5th is no good for me, but the 12th and the 19th
Oh.
are good.
Not really, no.
Okay. Let's do it this way. When are you available?
Well, I'm usually not this busy.
I know the feeling.
May 12th, doesn't work for you.
The 28th of April?
Accessibility canceled.
Wow.
Yeah, that weekend is bad for me.
That's us. Well, if you work at a school, that's spring break.
School break.
Yeah, that's school break.
Oh,
Yeah.
school break, school gets out.
24th to 28th is school break.
Are you
Yeah.
talking about April or May?
That was
Well,
April.
That was April. Back to May.
I'm out of town the
Accessibility
first
canceled.
2 weekends in May.
Okay, what about the week of the 15th? Any day between the 15th and the 19th?
I can do that.
Back on the 16th.
May, you talking about?
May.
May 15th to
Well, the
19th.
16th is when we have our next trustee meeting.
Yeah.
And we wanted it before then?
Ideally,
asking.
yeah.
Okay.
Ideally, I'd like to see us get it in before that.
Then that bumps us back up to the first week of May. How are you the first week of
Well,
May?
I happen to be out of town from the 6th until the 16th.
All right, look on the 1st through the 5th.
Well, the 5th is not a great day. It's
I
really-
can't do the 5th, but I can do the
Okay.
1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
I can do the 4th.
I can do the 4th.
I can't do a Thursday.
The 4th is the,
Thursday's
the 4th is the open house at the high school.
Oh,
I can. I
What
can
about
do,
Tuesday, the 2nd?
Yeah, I can do Tuesday the
Also Star
2nd.
Wars Day.
I can do Tuesday the 2nd.
Star Wars Day?
May the 4th, yeah. May the 4th be with you.
That's Thursday. We're on the 2nd now.
What about
I
the 3rd?
I have a question. I'm gonna
Do
just,
Tuesday the 2nd.
can you meet at your normal trustee meeting instead of having a trustee meeting, have a retreat? Or didn't we've
not
done
enough
that? We
time.
did that once where we did the retreat
Beforehand.
beforehand.
I know, but there's not enough time.
Yeah,
It's
but
too
maybe we
pressing.
Saying-
don't have to, maybe we don't have pressing regular meeting stuff that we need to do, and we do it in place of it. Because we've done that before where we've skipped a month.
Yeah, because I'm fine with it, saying we start at 5 o'clock and go till, 9, 10 o'clock on a weeknight.
Accessibility canceled.
You just said the 2nd didn't work for you.
Accessibility canceled.
No,
Accessibility
that's the,
It's going
the 2nd works.
Does May 2nd work for everybody?
May 2nd, yes.
But you don't like the idea of doing it on the 16th?
I'm good with the 2nd.
2nd or the
Yeah, the
16th would
16th.
work.
2nd works.
2nd works for
Oh,
everybody.
you're not.
That work for you?
Well, I'll be getting back.
Accessibility canceled.
So May
That's
2nd?
not reliable. May 2nd.
May
How's
2nd,
that?
we'll start at 5 o'clock.
Can you do May 2nd?
No. No. But my phone is also not talking to me right now.
Or it is
You can't
talking.
do May 2nd.
Here's to know.
You're just gonna make sure it can't talk to you.
What about
That's what you-
Monday, May
I have to
1st?
turn it off. Huh?
I can do that too.
Monday, May 1st.
After the development fund meeting?
She doesn't have to
Be
be
going
there
to
for
that
the whole thing
Can't we
either.
reschedule the development fund meeting?
No, no, that's tough for them to,
Okay, Monday, May 1st, I can do.
that's
After
development
the
fund.
development fund, yeah.
They're gonna
And
do
what
development
time
fund.
To
What time
They
does
meet
that
at
meeting
5.
end?
5:45.
So we could start our retreat at
start
5
our retreat.
o'clock.
No, they go 5 o'clock to 5:45.
Yeah, but the rest of us could start. Liaison and who's the liaison?
Me.
You and
Could they meet at 4 instead of
Yvette.
No, it's a tough week to schedule,
You and
and they
Yvette.
just, they just did their
I'm
own
getting
thing.
old. I think I'm getting senile.
Well, oh yeah,
We're
well,
the same age.
So you and Yvette would go to the.
What about Tuesday the 9th?
You
No,
might think you're
that's
older than
your-
you are.
Then we're
I'll be
definitely the
away.
same.
I'm away, I happen to be away
Are
that.
you said you were bad the weekend of
The
the,
weekend of the 28th, 29th, 30th, I
30th,
can't in April. I can do earlier in the week in April, the 27th, the 24th, the 25th. It's just that weekend I'm not available.
May 18th? That's a Thursday.
I'm fine with that.
It's after the board meeting, but
She can't do Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Well, you can't do
I can
Thursdays.
try to see if I can move stuff around with the family, but
what about Friday, the 19th?
no. We can, let's try the
Well,
18th and I'll see if I can.
The 16th is our trustee meeting, so we can just, we don't have to go through the treasurer's report and everything. We could just, if there's anything that needs to be voted on, we do a quick half-hour meeting with any urgent business, and then the rest of the night as the retreat. I mean, I'd be fine with that, because I don't think there's, you know,
So would we start at like 5, have
We'd
our
start at
original
5,
meeting, have our meeting not here,
right, It
and
would
go
be
from 5 to,
at the library, but, right.
and then,
Yeah, if there's anything.
So what you're
pressing.
saying is the 16th at 5 o'clock.
16th, 5 o'clock. We have a
are you
quick,
back?
try to get the whole trustee
16th?
meeting jammed down to like 20 minutes. We skip all the reports and the, you know, any of the the committee updates and the reports. All we do is there anything that needs to be voted on, yes or no? We hit on that, and then we,
Okay.
so 16th, sounds like it might work. Okay.
Where do we meet?
We will meet,
The clump.
actually,
Clump is available.
yeah, if the clump room is available, we'll get the clump room, yeah? Or not, yeah.
Tuesday's
clump room's
usually busy.
downstairs room.
Well,
Let me see if I can.
you don't need a big room. Just, 5 people.
But if we get the clump room, we could have pizza or something.
You can have, I can authorize you to have pizza anywhere in the library if you want.
But you could close the door so people don't see us eating
Well,
pizza.
or you can make people feel hungry, I don't know.
Is that little back
Sounds
corner in the
exhausting.
children's room?
Yeah,
I like
with
that.
with all the shelves there. It's like a little.
A cubby hole?
Yeah, that's going away. Because we have
Oh, because you're getting
the
your.
3 shelving,
Yes.
the 3 lower shelving, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we'll meet 5 p.m. retreat. The location. will
Somewhere
be
in the
TBD.
library.
Well, TBD, yeah. We'll find a place. Or we just meet in here, because we usually meet in here anyway. and just
It's true. Yeah, it would be,
Pizza,
it would
perhaps the
be,
library is a more appropriate
Yeah, that's why I'm
venue.
thinking
Did
the
that.
cl-
We've done
the
it here
clump room.
before. I think
Yeah,
twice we've had pizza.
All right.
I'd rather meet at the library personally.
Yeah.
Any further discussion on the retreat? I
just
think we're-
let's decide that, like, the week before or so I can call the office so that if we're not going to be in this room, they can use it for
Yes.
some other purpose, that's all.
Well, she can
Just let
find
me-
out by,
I'm doing it now.
Okay?
okay.
Oh,
That would be till roughly 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, is that?
Yes.
We'll try to keep it before 9,
Just so I don't.
or it gets
I
cranky.
know.
So right now, the clump room is
And it's
booked.
8:25.
The clump room is booked that night for an adult craft night,
Okay,
but the Lowell room is free and my office is free.
so do we want to try to book the Lowell room?
Low room.
Spread out a little.
Book the Lowell room. The Lowell room's the upstairs room in the library. The upstairs.
We had
Yeah.
the book group.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, yeah,
Okay,
our
yep.
book discussion was there.
Okay, now that took way too much time.
Okay.
I did put little crimping things, didn't I?
Okay, the policy review schedule, did we have any policies to review tonight? Not
Do we
for
have,
tonight.
did you develop an overtime policy?
Oh, that's
That's on the list.
That's on the list.
I don't
okay.
have anything for you to look at tonight. It's
Made for
on the
list.
list. Did
Okay.
you look at the list?
Did I look at the list? Someday I looked at the list, one day I looked at the list.
You! After all that, huh? Okay.
I'm good at
Little
lists.
room, 5 o'clock.
What? What did you say?
I'm
good at
lists, she
I
said.
must have looked at the list at some point. It's a list.
She's looked at all the lists, they just don't.
Lists are, philosophically, they're just
Oh, stop
never
it.
ending.
you're gonna go on, and then you're gonna be like, well, that took too long. I'm gonna save you from
So
yourself.
there's nothing to review tonight for policies?
No. We have some things that we're working on in department heads, but I knew you were gonna look at the list, so.
Did you send a list?
Huh? What?
Nothing.
Did I send you the list?
Did you send a list?
I did.
I don't recall seeing
I
the
sent you the list last month.
Okay.
This was not, this month it was, you wanted it immediately, so you had it immediately, and now you haven't looked.
Okay.
I have looked at it.
I have.
If
We looked
if
at
it's
that
a
last
list, I
yeah,
have
we-
looked at it.
we
I
looked at
just
it
don't
last
know
Yes, but
where it
everything
is.
was after the election. So I assumed you wouldn't actually discuss it tonight because it's the first one. I think, we put this on the agenda for the retreat, go through and assign dates, to these things during the retreat, and then we just knock it off over the course of the year.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
So there's your first thing on the retreat agenda.
Policy review schedule.
Okay, so
All right.
I think we're all set with that. So moving on to the
Treasurer's report.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
Right.
Yay.
So we have our fines account for the month of March.
Looking at here.
Our starting balance was $17,930.46. I am not on the quarterly one. I am on the
Yeah,
individual.
these ones.
Yeah, the
You're
March
doing-
one.
Yes. Total receipts was $2,274.27. We dispersed $241.83. So our ending balance was $19,962.90. That is for our fines. So our current balance is almost $20,000 in fines.
Pretty impressive.
Which is earmarked for the men's room.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Well, we'll see after the end of the budget.
I have a question, just mainly for clarification. You have $541.63 transferred to special.
Yep, because that was a deposit that was incorrectly deposited,
Done.
I believe.
Okay.
So I'd have to look. That's March. Yeah. Yeah, so if you look at March. Sorry. That was actually the checks you signed today.
Okay, good,
So-
because I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah. When the staff made the deposit, and I caught it when I was inputting it,
Sure.
so unfortunately we didn't catch it. But it was the Watson funds. And then I was going over this
Yeah.
statement, and it was like, that's not right either. So it was the Watson funds, and then like a friend's donation. There were several donations. It was a friend's donation for $300 for. They were doing their accounts, and there were several things that didn't get specific receipts for, so they did a lump donation to the library, and that should have been deposited into special, and it wasn't. And then yeah, that was 300 plus the 180, 361, and then plus the 180. So it's on the statement. So that's what that was. But those were the two checks you signed today.
I saw that, and that was going to be one of my questions too.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's just kind of housekeeping.
Did you ever put that new version of Quicken?
No, I haven't.
Okay, just wondered.
I'm looking at the quarterly. Does anybody have any questions on the quarterly?
Third quarter?
I'm looking at fines, and it's the January, February, March.
Yeah.
That'll be it. It's this one right here. Just look on
I've
mine.
downloaded this thing like 10 times.
They're pretty, nothing jumps out and says, this is strange. Do you,
Just one thing to note, there's the new copy machine,
Mhm.
money coming in. And what is e-commerce?
E-commerce is when a patron wants to pay their fines
Oh.
online.
Got it. Online.
Yvette, remind me after this meeting, I had a question from a patron at my church about the copy machine.
What's the question?
Talk to you after the
Okay.
meeting about it.
Okay. I'm reserving your room at the library
thank you.
before it gets snapped up because,
Thank you.
you know,
May 16th, right?
yes.
Yes,
At
okay.
5 o'clock, I'm just
5
doing the
o'clock.
whole-
No need, oh, never, nothing, never mind.
So I'm moving on to special.
Okay.
So special for the month of March, our starting balance was $14,156.28. Our total receipts were $94.88. The total disbursement, $932.93. So our ending balance in our special account is $13,318.23. And I'm glad you clarified for the Watson because I was looking for it. I was like,
Yeah.
I gave it to her. Where is it?
No. Yeah, no. I didn't do that deposit, so I'd have to track back to see, you know, which person did it, but
Miscellaneous.
So next month we'll see that move from
you will.
Right.
fines to special. Okay.
Okay.
So, at least for the month of March, the money or the interest did get taken out of the Watson account. The Watson account has now been moved to a new 12-month CD, still at DCU, and we have 70 cents already. So it matures March 31st of next year.
Is that the jumbo rate?
That is the jumbo rate is 0.85%.
Okay.
And then again, DCU now does have a fines checking account and a special checking account if we want to use it. They are available.
So do we want to just migrate the TD Bank things over to there and have it all in one place?
I don't know. We can. I don't know. I mean, other than checking on the affinity program
Right.
and whatever that's doing for us or not
Fine.
doing anything for us, I don't see why. I don't have a reason to keep TD personally. So
It just seems to make sense to consolidate.
Simplify it when
Yeah.
we're changing over.
From what I was told, and I don't know if it's rumor, truth, or what, but the trustees at the time didn't want to make it look like they were hoarding a lot of money, so they kind of hid it by moving it to different accounts.
Well, this is all reported in the town
I
report.
know.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but seeing one big number versus several small
but they're
numbers.
not. It's not one big number. It's never one big number. In the town report, there's a section for each account.
Exactly.
Like I
so-
said, I don't know if that was any truth to that or what. But
We can discuss that at the
You
retreat.
can discuss it at the retreat.
Okay, that sounds like a good
I'd be
idea.
all in favor of condensing the accounts myself,
Me too.
less paperwork. and switching them
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another thing to
Yes.
discuss at the retreat.
over. Yes.
Exactly. And okay. I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay, and that was it for treasurer's report, yes?
Yes.
Okay, moving to the director's report.
Purchase report. Okay. Okay, so there are some gifts for you to accept. One is $100 donation from the Merrimack Garden Club to pay for a pass to the Fells Historic Estates and Gardens.
Oh, that's nice.
They purchase this pass every year.
Oh, I didn't know, I
I will make
didn't
a
know we
motion
had
to
it.
accept $100 from the Merrimack Garden Club for the pass to the Fells.
Second. Second.
Discussion on it? No.
No,
All
that's
in favor?
nice. 5?
Or, okay, I was gonna say, Lori, abstaining or voting no here? So it's unanimous, okay?
Okay, the Friends of the Library donated $50 to the library for a table at the Spring Into Chic fashion show, so technically you need to approve that.
I will make
I-
a motion.
Okay, you gonna do it?
Motion, you
Jen?
seconded?
$50.
I'll second
Karen
it.
seconded. Any discussion? No. All in favor? Unanimous.
How was
Laura
that?
and I enjoyed,
Well, Jennifer and Laura were manning the table.
that was a very
Oh,
enjoyable
We had a lot
night.
of fun.
We had fun
Yeah,
there.
we had a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, I was out of town,
Oh,
that's the
the
only.
pictures that you guys posted looked really good.
I'm glad that
I think you posted pictures.
I did.
Yeah.
it went
Yeah.
well.
Well, next year you could walk in it. One.
Go.
Harry? Oh, yeah. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
The town was
I'm a model
represented.
song by Ray Said Fred.
Yeah.
I'm a model, or Ray Said
Actually,
Fred
next
song.
year I'll be able to
No,
do
I'm
it.
too sexy. That's it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm too sexy.
All right.
I'm too sexy
You
for your
asked for it.
Yeah, I've got no shame. I'll
People
do it.
here do not forget.
I've got no shame. I'll do it.
And then, of course, we had a donation of a book, A Frying Shame from Linda Riley, author of
Yes.
Out of the Dying Pan, which is already, people have seen it in my pile and they want it, so they want it cataloged quickly.
Is she a local author?
She is a local author, yes. So,
I think she's written 3 now.
yeah, so I can, you have to vote to accept that donation, and then I can send her a thank you letter and have the book cataloged.
So
Make a
Aye.
motion,
you made the motion.
make a motion to accept
Are
the
you
wonderful
seconding?
donation.
I do second it.
I'll second it. All in favor? Unanimous.
Okay. So there's some updates since I sent this out to you. I wrote that we're applying for a Kids Books in the Arts grant. We actually just received word that we received the grant.
Cool.
So Emily wrote this and applied for it. She turned it in by the deadline. The deadline was last week, Friday, and we received notice today that we received it. So what we are receiving is the $326.44. This will be for Cactus Head Puppets, which was her first choice. And then the library would pay out of the programming funds $150 as the balance.
She was at the Friends. She mentioned the
She
puppet
did.
show.
Yeah,
She
but
was
then-
about how impressive this puppet show is.
Right. So, yeah,
Emily's doing a nice job putting
We got
together
a
a good summer
grant.
reading
she's doing a
program.
great job.
I
She's
think
amazing.
that,
She really is.
any children out there would have a lot of fun participating in it this
Yeah.
year.
And we have a, I didn't put this in my report, but since you're mentioning it, I've been speaking with Emily about how we're going to modify the teen summer reading program. We are going to have an aspect of it where teens who are, I think, from 7th grade to 12th grade, we're going to invite them to apply for a position to be a volunteer at the library and to help us run several squads that will assist the children's program. So, we'll have one with the 3D printer. We'll have one that she wants to do something with book buddies, where people are, reading with each other. She's got a technology one planned to help with items for makerspace and just maintaining and building the makerspace. And then there'll be a fourth one that I suggested where, for teenagers who, might be interested in library science, or kind of seeing what's more behind the scenes of general library work. They can help us with special projects, but it would be, the idea is that, we would still run a regular teen summer reading program with programs and activities and events and raffle prizes and everything else, but we'd have this other layer for teenagers who are interested in getting some job skills and working with us to assist our patrons to run the children's program. And then we'd have a meeting at the end of the summer where we would help them build their resume, where you're translating the tasks that they were doing during these squads into actual job skills that would be reflected in there.
That's really good.
So,
I like that.
This is something we're gonna open up the application period in May, and we're finalizing. I've been talking with our web designer. He's not given me the mock-up yet, but he's working on a mock-up for an online application where people can just fill in, their vital information, and then we can bring them in for a brief interview so that the teenagers would really get kind of the full range of this is how you do an interview, and then go through the whole process and then report to work. The funding for this is actually coming out of a DCU grant that we got at the end of last year, because they award the grant at the end of the year, and it's $3,500, and it's supposed to be used for programs that make a difference. So this is something that I saw at a conference, and I have been pitching it to the staff, and Emily really jumped on board with it, and she talked to the library in Illinois that had done the presentation that I saw at ALA last year, and kind of tried to understand how it's going to work in Merrimack, and has talked to her staff, and so we've got it all planned out, or she's really worked on the details. But we can have T-shirts made with this funding and supplies that come out of that for this. So that's what we're going to use with some of that money. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I've already talked about the building. Just another update on that. On April 5th, Joanne and I met with Suzanne Smith-Meyer from New Hampshire Technical Institute in Concord, where she and her 2 students in the landscaping class, they did a tour of the building, tour of the grounds. We showed them the areas that we would want to have a design created for landscaping, and to create this outdoor seating area and things like that. So she has toured the building. We've met the students, and we're waiting for the plans to come to us. Once we receive the plans, and I told her, if you have something that really seems outlandish and wild, I want to see it. We want to see something as far as it can go, and because we can remove bushes, but I really want to know what you might do to enhance the entrance, brighten it up. She had a lot of good ideas of just.
They're looking at the whole picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then we would need to hire someone to see how much we can do within our budget, or do part of it, do one stage of it, have more turkey shoot funds, maybe go to it. We'll just have to see, but this doesn't include actually implementing the project. It's just creating the plans, and then we can look at the plans. And that should be, it's a class, so it should be May. We should really have something. We've added Flipster. That's going to roll out on May 1st. This is the online magazines, the e-magazines. And then, we were having various, I'm having various G-Milks and Hillstown and Urbans meetings coming up in the next couple of months. The last thing I just received as I was getting ready to leave the building, I got an email from Kyle Fox at the DPW, and he sent me the bid for the parking lot. So the bid is out. And this is our paving project, but other paving projects as well. So if you wanted to see the bid, I can send you the link, but we're including
I'm sorry,
it.
what paving project?
This is the bid to pave our parking lot.
I thought we did that last year.
No. This is the parking lot in August that we're going to close the library to the public probably for 2 days.
Okay.
But wasn't it,
The money's in the budget,
set
but
aside
now
in
the
the
bid
budget.
the bid is going to, it's going out to vendors.
the
Oh.
actual vendor?
Yeah, we budgeted for it. We
Yeah,
haven't-
Sure,
okay.
sure.
I'm like, we've had this talk before.
No, now the bid has.
It's 8:45.
It has
It's
gone
time
to bid.
It's almost past her bedtime.
Okay, thank you. Very well done.
I received a nice email from Eileen that she was forwarding on to all of the town department heads from a resident, just thanking everyone involved with the budget process. So I can pass that around if you like. And I think that's it for my director's report.
Okay. operating budget.
Nice.
Questions or comments on the operating budget?
Good. So that's pretty much it.
Any comments on the operating budget? No? Seeing none. Statistics. Did you put that on? Or you put that on?
I put that on so that it can come back onto the agenda. It had been on the agenda some years ago as a read file. You do have a copy of statistics for the time period of the strategic plan. In the strategic plan, it's in the back, yeah.
Yes.
So I would suggest, I've been talking to the department heads about this, and since we have new staff on department heads, they have collected different kinds of statistics at their previous employment. So we've been talking about it in department heads, and they're really wondering, why do we collect this, and why do we collect that, and are we collecting the right thing, and what are you using this for? So I said, there are some statistics that I have to submit to the state library. And then really everything else is negotiable. What do you want to track? And what should we track in light of the strategic plan? What kind of data would be useful as we move forward? So we're talking about it. I think it would probably be best if, at your retreat, you talk about that, because it's going to, I think we have to start talking about it. But I've told them I want to know certain things, but we haven't changed the sheet yet. We don't want to change the sheet until July 1st when we start a new fiscal year. You can look at a span of years now. We can look at 15, 16. But I think eventually when I get to reporting statistics to you, you should look at it quarterly, because you have to compare it to something.
Yeah.
To look at a standalone month the way it might have been done in the past is not helpful. Because you have to see movement, one way or the other. But I'm still hearing back from some of the newer department heads about, why are we collecting this? And is there a better way to track certain things?
I'm a numbers person, so I'll take whatever numbers you throw at me.
Sure, you can. Sure, but they can be interpreted any way you want. If we look at, for example, if you look at the door count goes down. It's a faulty thing. We already know that. Or you might look at, circulation for one type of item goes down, but the circulation for electronic goes up, so there's a displacement of that, and people are trading off one kind of thing for another. But I think it's just it's a bigger conversation, and probably quarterly to see a report, but probably to talk about it at the retreat is better, and then also to talk about it in light of the strategic plan. So I've also asked them to start collecting more narrative things, comments. We haven't been collecting that. We have a feedback feature on the website, but I usually get spam in that. Sometimes we'll get emails individually sent, and that's great. The comment box that's on the newspaper shelf is never used. So I think, I was suggesting to them, maybe there's a better way to capture the narrative. If someone is just telling you a comment about, wow, that was an awesome program. They're a little inconsistent. They are inconsistent with the evaluation forms for programs, and I'm trying to encourage everyone to use those, so that we can just be collecting something in addition to numbers. Because the numbers, I don't think it's helpful to look at numbers without comments.
True. You need to understand what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's just people are using the library differently. So they might come into the library and never check out a book or any material, but the space, they're using the space, and we're observing them use the space in a certain way. So, can we track that? We used to track Wi-Fi users and count people in the parking lot. We'd go that far. But it's like now everyone has a phone, so it's like, can we really track Wi-Fi? Is it useful now? It used to be before everyone and their mother got Wi-Fi.
Right.
So now it's like, well, everyone has it, so is that, we don't really need to track it. I think they also need to track, things like workload. I've talked to several of them very, very recently about, using my hours to track their time, their department time, so that we can see, are we at the right staffing level? Because I ask them to do a lot, and are people getting, stretched where, I really can't do everything that you're asking me to do again. So, we've had certain positions that we haven't filled. They've just kind of gone away. We're really playing a lot with reallocating duties, and we have something like an express check, which will kind of technically replace a person, but that frees up that staff person to go do something else. So I think I think there's a lot of other things to look at besides numbers. I think the numbers are very important, and I'll go back to Joanne and see where were we on pricing a people counter, for the door. Because we saw one that like Amherst Library is using, but it's, much more expensive than what we have, and it has to be mounted a certain way, and but it should count more accurately. And I think it might have to be wired to a particular, like a dedicated computer to gather the data. So there's a couple of other, like something like a people counter, there's a couple of other expenses and time that have to be addressed. But then we'll have a more accurate count for something like that, So, to me, it's a bigger conversation, but I wanted to put it on the agenda so that we get to it.
Okay. All right, so we'll dive deeper into this in the retreat.
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on to old business. The NHLTA conference is May 23rd. Now, have you gotten everybody's?
I just need to know from Jennifer.
I don't have the days off to take
Okay,
a day.
so are you going to say no?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you're saying no because you couldn't have the day off.
Actually, I'm completely not here
Yeah.
in the state.
Right, because you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
So. Yep. Okay.
Okay. So everything, we're all set for that.
Yeah, I can ask. Jen Green has been expressing some interest in finding out more about what's the next level in administration. So I can see if she's available that day. Sometimes the department heads have come, in the
Yeah.
past. So
Sure.
it can be her turn maybe,
Nothing wrong
but
with
I'll ask her.
that.
I haven't asked her yet, but it occurred to me because she was here. So
Yeah.
I'll find out. And then I'll pick my days and I'll register.
It's absolutely fine, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Watson account, we're all set with at this point,
We are all set.
right? It's been renewed and
It's renewed. It's sitting in a jumbo 12-month.
0.83.
okay. So I know we needed to just touch up and make sure everything was good with that, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
All good.
The Development Fund joint meeting.
We talked about after the retreat that we would.
Right.
We are doing a lot of stuff at our retreat.
Yeah. But now they're meeting on the 1st, correct?
May 1st, yep.
So we'll find out from them, make sure they're on board and, okay.
Yeah, so they're kind of looking at us for direction, but we need to have our meeting to see what are our
Yes.
goals and,
And then we're going to meet with them and the friends as well
yeah.
at some
Do a
point
joint
afterwards, yeah.
Okay. Was there an update on the lighting, Yvette?
Yes, I passed that out. So when I looked over my notes from the last meeting, it said, table, but it also said, what's the other quote? So I just handed you the second quote. So from Joanne, this is the updated application agreement for the LED retrofit project. So the front pages, it's pages 1 to 8 is the contract with Light Tech. In the middle is 1 to 4 application agreement for Eversource rebate, and 1 to 8 back pages are 1 to 8 customer assessment.
So this is still 28,000, of which half of it hopefully is a grant if there's still money left when we.
Yeah, if you look at page 3, the customer application agreement will give you the total project cost is $28,483. The Eversource incentive is $14,241.50, and then the total cost to customer is $14,241.50. So the electric cost savings estimated is 36, 24, and 27 cents, and the payback period after the rebate is 3.9 years. And this would be, you know, you were talking, Laura, maybe, I think it was you, about the lighting in the bathroom? So it'll change the lighting in the bathroom,
Yeah,
it'll change the
well,
lighting in the building?
This does include that.
Yeah.
We had decided to table this for a while, didn't we?
You did, but I also had a note that you wanted to see the updated.
We did.
Yeah, I think it was because we hadn't decided.
Well,
Like,
there
we
were-
wanted to see more about the
Well,
building.
But there
and-
were some things
It's like,
that,
where
you
does it
know,
fit with this other
we
list
could take
here?
out, you know, there were some
Right.
things that Jared had said, no,
Right.
no, you know, we don't need to do this and that, and, you know, so then you needed the updated quote.
Excellent,
So-
thank you.
But it's
Where does-
still pretty much, it's around, in the same ballpark as it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Where does it fit on the building list? I mean, is
I
that
think it was
considered a
there.
priority?
No.
For me, I'm not in favor at this time because we don't have a long-term plan for the building, and this seems like a long-term thing to recoup the cost. Plus, there was still quite a bit of life left in the bolts
Of
that
what we
were
have right
on there,
now.
right?
Even if we don't go forward with this now, we still think we could do something with the bathroom lighting, even regardless.
Well, that was a priority 3 on the list. It was lower. on the
Yeah,
priorities.
and there are other things that are a little more.
So I think we need to get through the strategic plan before we
Mm-hmm,
make a call
Yeah.
on the lighting.
mm-hmm.
Agree.
So do we want to keep this on the agenda for 2 months at this point? Bring back up or
we have the paperwork, we can do that.
table this? for
Well, the
now?
grant expires, doesn't it?
Well, we'd have to go
Money
for
runs out.
another
If it's
year.
there- If it's available
If somebody
or not.
else uses it before we
Yeah.
get to
When the
it.
money runs out, then that's
Money
it.
runs out, yeah,
And we could apply, we could try the next year.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still on the building project list, so it still exists, and you could always decide to bring it up.
Yeah, so I'll keep this 2 months from now on the agenda,
Mhm.
not during the retreat, but we'll get into it after. Oh, I had this on here twice, the strategic plan. So we-
I had added it because I didn't know what development plan was,
Oh,
so that was
okay,
me.
that's why it's on there
Okay.
twice, okay.
That's me.
Okay,
That's
so we can
fine.
cross this off, we'll set the meeting date after the retreat, or at the retreat. For other business, I did have one thing, I keep forgetting, we had a couple thank you cards in our folders. I keep forgetting to bring these, so they get entered in, and some of these are actually from Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I
So we
used
had
to do
a
that too.
thank you for the breakfast, which, the breakfast that we did, this was from Michelle. So I'll pass it around and then. This one was, thank you for the, acknowledging my 5-year anniversary from Jen. And then this one. Oops, upside down. Was, what was this one for? Oh, also for the breakfast. This is from. Says Sheila?
Sheila.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
she's thanking us for the breakfast. I've had those in the folders and I keep forgetting to bring them to the meeting, just to have them entered into the
Yeah.
minutes. So, All right. So, did anybody else have other business?
I just had one
I
thing.
have it upside down.
Can we take a photo, a board photo?
Oh, another one? I'm
Or
sorry.
we can do it when you're ready. I'm just saying, if you want to have an updated board photo and we can include our alternate in it,
That would be
then
good.
I
That
can,
would
when I
be
update,
lovely.
when I update the
Yes.
webpage, then I
Yes.
can
That would
change.
be lovely.
Yes.
Otherwise, she gets a little special insert.
Photoshopped in. Photoshopped in the corner.
Right, yeah,
I
photoshopped
can do
in.
that. I can Photoshop that.
Can't have like that shadow face like they do when you don't put your picture on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, the kind of no
Just a
face at
little-
all.
Round
But-
smiley.
The alternate to be named later.
Okay, well, in between, once we take a break, we'll take a break before we go into non-public. 'Cause
Yeah.
we'll need to get them, we can take the photo at that point.
Oh, you actually do mean tonight.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
we have a non-public.
I know she didn't give us warnings to dress up.
If you want to do it
Her hair and makeup.
We can,
at the retreat, I'm just saying, we should do
everybody
it.
wants to fancy themselves up and look. Come in formal outfits, everybody in gowns and suits and everything, yeah.
This is
I'll wear
your
the
new
gown, you
library
guys go with the
trustee
suits.
board.
I don't even know.
Now then people will be really wondering what's going on.
Are we ready to adjourn our meeting?
Well, we have non-public.
We
yes,
adjourned
but we have to
July.
adjourn.
Yeah, so that was it for other business. So the calendar on the 16th will be the next trustee meeting,
That will be the retreat.
We don't
which
enter
is
it.
a retreat.
To enter it.
So I'm going to label it a retreat on the calendar.
Yes, but we'll have a very short business meeting
Yeah.
on the 16th.
Yeah.
The Development Fund is meeting on the 1st. The Friends met yesterday, and now their next meeting is, do you remember, Yvette?
Says,
Yeah.
says here the 17th.
That was
That's
yesterday.
yesterday.
Well, that was
They met
just-
yesterday.
Didn't have a set.
So when is their
Oh,
next
gosh.
official meeting?
I'm gonna look.
She's looking.
Yeah.
Her phone is no longer yelling at her.
I turned it off.
I know, what was that?
I don't think I have that one in my calendar either.
Oh, I could look at mine. It's faster to look at mine. Okay.
What did they say with
So it's May. Oops.
Right about the same date, isn't it? It's a Monday.
Oh, no.
Oh, is that the donation?
Mhm. So probably the 15th, isn't it usually a Monday? Third Monday?
I remember there was a lot of discussion about this.
Yeah, they ended up picking an alternate date.
Right. So it's not.
It'll be on the library website.
It'll be on the library website, so
Yeah.
we can,
So check the website.
Yeah.
for anybody interested in the Friends, you'll have to check the library website. All right, any comments from the press, public, board members?
No comments.
Seeing none. All right, we will take a 10-minute, well, actually.
Well, we
we
move
need
to
make- Yeah,
adjourn.
we
Move
need
to
to make them,
adjourn.
well, we
Roll
need the
call.
motion,
Go to
roll call
non-public.
vote to go into non-public per RSA 91-A:3 IIC. So who's going to make the motion? I'll make the
I'll
motion.
Make the motion, I'll
Jen
second.
seconded. And roll call vote. Jen?
Aye.
Aye. Laura? Janet? Me? Aye.
Aye.
Karen? Aye. Okay, so we will take a
9:00
10 to 15 minute. however
9:04.
long it takes for them to shut off the cameras.
Buzzed off.
We will go into non